Hey,
Perfect.
everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics, the show where Dave and
Welcome.
I hope that the internet stays at least up long enough to get through this. I'm your co host, Josh, alongside, as always,
It's me, Dave, coming live and in person. How are you, my friend?
David. How are you, sir?
I've been good, man. Technology's awesome. Internet's cool.
Technology
You're
is cool.
good. You have been having a pretty good summer trying to not overload yourself with tasks, if I remember correctly.
That is it's true. I am. And by overload myself with tasks, that means that I'm not going to do anything crazy
Write two novels.
like write two books or have two weddings
Is this
or
what it would be like if we scripted stuff because we're just rehashing the 2 minute
rehashing all.
conversation we just
Yeah,
had? If
that's
I
really
was
what it
writing it, I would wait till November 25th for a December deadline.
is. But no, yeah. So um, there was no there. I'm not under any kind of any kind of non-disclosure or anything in it. So I have been working on and had plans to self-publish eventually a biography of 1950s Disney child actor Bobby Driscoll for quite
Driscoll.
some time.
Hmm.
I'm a big Bobby Driscoll fan. I think the way that he was treated in Hollywood is absolutely repugnant,
Well,
especially by Walt himself.
he got ugly, and
He
you
did.
can't have
He
an
got
ugly
acne, and you
person.
can't have an uggo at Disney. So I had wanted to write that book for a long time. I happened to reach out to Bear Manor Media, they're a small press that focuses on Hollywood stories. And I pitched it to them, and they liked it. And they said, absolutely, we'd love to sign a contract and have you write that for us. And I also pitched one other story that I've been itching to tell that I had pitched to Fangoria as a series for their magazine and never heard back or anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm interested. I'm going to mention it. So I'm actually going to do the second book I'm writing for them is a book about back in 1983, the UK started their prosecutions of horror movies that they thought were going to cause just disruption in civilian life, and they were
This
going to
is
cause
video nasty,
the
right?
video
Which
nasty.
is also a really good porn, by the way. Video nasty. It's the
The
original
video
title for Debbie
nasty.
Does Dallas, but
There are 72 films on the original Video Nasties list. There are about 80 others that got kind of looped in and around that, but the original list is 72, and that's what I'm going to focus on is the world leading up to it, what those 72 were, and what we really learned by their attempt at censorship. So
nothing.
those two books will be coming out sometime in 2027.
Is censorship ever a positive thing? Is it ever good? I
No,
don't know.
that's a really deep philosophical question. And next time on Couch Philosophy, we'll talk about that. But today, this is Couch Critics, so let's have more fun. No, so I'm working on writing those books. So I'm doing a lot of research and rewatching stuff and searching for a way to be able to rewatch Song of the South. Disney has famously tried to bury Song of the South.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom because my daughter's wedding, my mom was in town, and I was talking to her about trying to
Congratulations again, by
thank
the
you.
way.
Oh yes, thank you. Congratulations to Clarissa and Nick. They are officially married. They're out in Hawaii,
Woohoo!
partying in Hawaii right now.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. But I was talking to my mom because I have memory of seeing Song of the South in theaters.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I had to do some Google searching. So right around the time I turned 7. It actually in November 21st of 1986. I turned 7 on November 6th, a few weeks later, right around Thanksgiving. It was released in theaters to coincide with the opening of Splash Mountain, which was
Correct.
Briarback's the South
Yeah.
theme.
Cut me loose. Cut me
Yeah.
loose. Yeah.
So I got to see it in the theaters all the way back then. So I have this distinct memory of seeing it, but I do not have distinct memory of much more than
The clips that you've seen too, because
clips.
every
Obviously,
there
the
are clips
Brer
of it.
Rabbit stuff, the Tar Baby stuff. because those still
What'd you
exist.
call me? I'm just
Shorts.
kidding. Yeah.
But I have distinct memory of Uncle Remus and Bobby Driscoll sitting on a log and Uncle Remus singing a song
Yeah.
to Bobby Driscoll. So I have memory of seeing it. But now I got to find it because obviously
It's
I know
it's
that.
it's a fine line. I think all things should be available. To be honest, I mean,
100%.
with a reason. I don't want some of the '70s exploitation of minors sexually and stuff like that. Those movies and stuff that came out of Europe
No,
and stuff. I don't
I
want
think
those necessarily, but
yeah,
they should still
I
be
think
studied. But
for
what I was saying,
as far as
good.
censorship goes, if the film was made illegally, it was illegal in the time, it was always bad, and you broke laws to create it, then sure, maybe we go ahead and get rid of that. But I have a feeling that we're never going to be at that.
No,
But um, like just as an example, before we get into talking about more fun stuff, Gone with the Wind is a prime example of not canceling things but doing things the right way.
yeah,
HBO and Turner Classic Movies, they have linked together for HBO Max. So there's a Turner Classic feed, and when all of this stuff starts coming out about what should be censored, what shouldn't in old films, HBO and TCM pulled it for about a week, and then they re-released it with basically a title card that pops up and says, "We recognize that this is filled with inaccuracies and harmful representations. However, the art needs to be understood and studied. We encourage you to watch and then have a conversation."
yeah.
And
Simple.
obviously that's me abbreviating that.
Or
But
TCM, when it's on,
yes,
one of the hosts will come out and not only the title card to play, but before that, in their intro, they
Yeah.
point out that the stereotypes and the things that are used in
here's
this.
some
And the,
things.
it's
Yeah.
listen, you can't. Birth of a Nation, 1915. It was hard to find. It's a very racist movie. It was
100%.
racist material and all of that stuff, but it's super important to film. And so when
Yeah.
I was looking for it, I'm like, I want them to know. Neil Brennan, the co-creator of the Chappelle Show, has a great joke in his stand-up about how he was looking for a copy of The Adventures of Huck Finn, but they've changed the book. And
Yeah.
there was some abridged or edited version of it where
Yes.
they're taking, obviously, the offensive word out. And so he had to go around and ask people because he wants the one with that word in it. And
Yeah,
he goes, but
the-
I don't want it for the reason you think. I want it because I
Right.
want the original material.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. Like I want to, well, it for the same reason that I don't want to read the abridged version of Pride and Prejudice. It's not because there's anything offensive in there. I want to embrace
artist.
art in the intent that it was given. I get that I'm never going to be able to read Crime and Punishment in Tolstoy's Russian,
Why not?
but I want it in the most in the most accurate translation I can get.
I just
I
translate one word at a time, and I read all of Tolstoy and Dostoevsky.
Right.
I one word at a time, and I go to Google Translate.
Like
I
Google Translate, so every word becomes a whole sentence. So Crime and Punishment, 1,200-page book. It's about a 30,000-page book by the time I read it.
Yeah, and it took about a year and a half to get through the first chapter, the first bit. But
Chapter one.
anyways, enough about censorship, my friend.
No, but moving on. No, with that, that's actually a really good segue into this intermittent series that I do whenever I buy new content. Because Dave and I, thanks to Jeff Rousio, if you don't know who Jeff Rousio is, go check him out. He's on Substack, he's on Instagram, he's on Threads, he's on all those places. But Jeff Rousio did a whole series about digital ownership of films. And Dave responded to me in the same way I responded to that content. I'm like, oh, you're full of shit. And then I had to go look it up myself. And then you realize in the small print on Amazon, on Fandango, wherever you get your digital, you do not own this. You are renting that title until the parent company loses the rights.
And don't think they won't lose the rights, because it happens 100,000 times every day. They pull stuff off of what they have.
Well, and just recently, a poor lady, I don't remember her name, but she's from somewhere in the Midwest. She had purchased a trilogy, all three movies in one, for one of the dystopian young adult things, the Maze Runner, one of those. I don't remember which one. But she had purchased it, and then she went on to watch it, and the because she bought it as the trilogy, so it's a single thing, a single purchase with all three movies. She lost all three of them because they lost the rights to one of them.
That's not.
And so,
It's yeah.
so with that,
People need to know that purchasing, which I was doing, buying stuff on Amazon
all the time,
Prime. I was like,
all
oh,
the time.
awesome! I'm gonna this way I have Happy Death Day. But Happy Death Day, if they don't have the right to show it, if they don't feel like spending the money to renew a streaming
With
contract,
Boomhouse,
it's
yeah,
gone, and then you just lose
absolutely.
it. And that
So
stuff
with
happens
that,
all the time. Everybody
I
needs to know that.
decided
Sean's Physical Media is also a
is
really
another
good YouTube
really
channel.
good
There's
one.
only a couple of small videos on there, but
He's
there's
just getting
brilliant.
started, but check him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean's Physical Media. It's really good.
So I picked up, and every couple of months, probably once a quarter, Criterion, their website, they do this thing where it's like 30% off. Sometimes it 50% off. They just had a 30% off sale. So I'm like, shit, I got a little bit extra money. I'm going to buy a couple of movies. So I bought one that I've been dying to watch that you have recommended to me numerous times. I picked up The Killing,
I
Stanley
love that
Kubrick's The
movie.
Killing.
So good.
It also comes as a double feature with Killer's Kiss, which I
Yeah,
guess the
also
lesser
really.
movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's really good. I like
it's
it.
good.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. But then we're talking about censorship. In our childhood, this is the first censored movie that I remember, like the Catholic League of Legion of Decency or whatever in our childhood, like getting loud about. I lived in Southern California, so it was huge. It was everywhere. And that's Scorsese's Last Temptation of Christ,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because Willem Dafoe is absolutely fantastic in that movie. Highly recommend that movie. But then another one that is all about what I love about film. I love that I get to. It's got a film has a voyeuristic quality to it. So I picked up Peeping Tom.
Well, that was your nickname in high school, so
It was Peeping Josh. Get it right.
yeah, right.
Actually, everybody in
They
high
didn't know
school
your
called
name.
me.
They just knew
They
he was the
called
guy
me.
in the tree,
No,
the guy in the tree with the binoculars.
what were you doing in that tree, George? Bird
Oh
watching.
yeah.
And then I picked up one, and this one is a very difficult movie, but I think has been highly censored, and that's Pier Paolo Pasolini's Salo,
Oh, I don't.
120 Days of Sodom. It is a very difficult movie to watch,
Yeah, I don't know the
but
movie.
I think an important watch. It's in the thousand movies to see before you
I do
die.
know Solo. That's the Han Solo stuff.
So yes, you know what?
They're probably the
Honestly,
same. I'm sure it's the exact
it's really
same
really similar.
level
Just
of artistic
less
quality.
less Donald Glover though in this one. I want to see the Lord and Miller version of Solo. I want to see what they were doing, what the movie they would have created.
I didn't even know they were doing it.
They
I
were
didn't
the
even
ones
know.
doing it.
I
They
did
got
not know
pushed out
that.
and they brought in Ron Howard to finish it. But anyway, so I
Speaking of Back to the Future, I just have a little thing. I did read an interesting bit about because obviously we all know Eric Stoltz was originally cast
filmed
in a lot of filming was done in the original Back to the Future in the role of Marty McFly. Things didn't work out, so then they got Michael J. Fox. Well, Eric Stoltz is taller than Michael J. Fox. And so originally it was Melora Hardin playing the love interest from The Office. She was Jan.
yeah, I know.
She was they did a bunch of filming. It was going to be a breakout role for her.
Yeah.
She did all of these things, and then because Eric Stoltz left and Marty McFly now is a shorter guy,
Yeah,
so
short dude, yeah.
they cut her and even told her that it was partially because of the fact that she was too tall for Michael J. Fox. So this was the big break in her career and a young actress.
Right. Yeah. So now her big break ends up being years later, really
Years
in the
later.
office.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
and it's both. I mean, that's one of those. It's good for us who love The Office, but
Yeah.
terrible for her as a budding star.
I couldn't imagine. She's lucky she survived that because that's the kind of thing like Jonathan Brandis didn't handle those things well.
He did
Sorry.
not.
Oh, that's very dark. That's very, very dark. Anywho,
But with that, let me tell you about something a lot more fun, and
Schindler's List.
that is Schindler's List. No, a movie that I watched this week because I was looking for background noise, and I don't know why this movie, on Prime they say they have that thing that's trending movies on Prime.
Sure, and I always think that's bullshit. I think they're pushing their stuff up to the front that
No,
they.
I 100% agree. But then when I saw this movie was trending, and it makes zero sense why it'd be trending, that's why I watched it. It's 1995's Major Pain with Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans and the beautiful, what's her name from
Karen
Fresh
Parsons.
Prince? Yeah,
Karen
she's
Parsons.
so
She's
beautiful
I love- So
on.
I will tell
Whatever.
you, this movie it's a 2.5 star movie. It
Yep.
is not. But it is.
It's okay.
It's funny.
I know.
And then watching it now as a grown ass adult, not a 16-year-old who saw it in the theaters, a couple of things stood out to me watching it. First of all, it's directed by Nick Castle. If you don't
Yep.
know, Nick Castle he is Michael Myers. He was Michael Myers in the first Halloween, and then he's also a director, and he directs this movie.
And he invented White Castle. Go ahead.
He popularized the White Castle run. No, but the movie, it's got some really funny jokes in it.
It does.
Some things that go really well.
I think it's the best comedy Damon Wayans might have ever done, in my opinion. And I say
Yeah.
that knowing that I like some of the other ones, especially in the '90s. I watched
Yes.
this with Mel. I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, because I think
Yeah.
one of the kids in it is somebody who was in other stuff. The kid from Angus, I think, is in it. The redheaded friend, I think, is
Yes,
in it.
yep, he's in it.
A couple of the other kids, and I was trying to explain the movie to her because I think we had watched Renaissance.
Michael
Right.
Ironside as the drunk dad is really good in that role. It just works.
Yeah.
You've got I can never remember his name. The old man that was he played the old man in everything. He's in Christmas Vacation. He plays the dean of the school, and he's just kind of with that whiny voice.
There's a dean of the school in Christmas Vacation?
In Major Pain.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't
anyways,
remember.
so I watched it, and I found myself chuckling. I felt a lot of the jokes kind of worked, but the thing that I noticed is there's a lot of little homages to other movies. When Damon Wayans' character, when Major Payne is out of the military and he's struggling to adapt to civilian life, he has this breakdown in his hotel room that is almost a shot-for-shot recreation of Martin Sheen's meltdown at the beginning of Apocalypse Now.
You're kidding.
With the mirror and the meltdown and everything. It almost shot for
Does it
shot.
start with an overhead with the fan? I can't remember that.
Yes.
Does it really?
Yes, and in the small dingy room, and the mirror in the corner, him in his brown short, it is almost shot for shot. And I was like, that's really cool from a nerdy kind of
Yeah, I don't remember that.
film side. But so yeah,
It's
I watched
pretty good.
Pain, and I would recommend. I would honestly recommend it for people who just want a silly movie
good
to
laugh.
pass the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched that, but then in prep for this week, I watched something else that I'll get to in a minute. But I want to hear, Dave. I know you watched some old.
Actually, well, I have, but I actually have a question.
Yeah.
There's something that's been on my radar for a while, but I don't know much about it. But I just watched the trailer for it,
Okay.
and I know you probably do. This Backrooms, it's the new show, I think, and it was at a YouTube.
A YouTuber
based
did a
thing by
bunch of
a
shorts.
young kid, 14 years old or something, making these.
Started his shorts,
And started making these shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know
Parsons,
a lot,
I think.
but I watched
Yeah,
the first. I watched the first of the original 9-minute whatever it was. And I was like, oh, it's found footage, which that's what I would do if I had no resources.
Right, sure. And
It covers things,
I definitely want to see the movie. So our local theater here on Tuesdays does discounted tickets on Tuesdays, $5 or $6 to go to the movies.
Yeah.
My plan is this week is to spend Monday watching the shorts and then go to a matinee on Tuesday and just kind of be in a smaller theater. Hopefully, yes, film is communal. You need to do it with a big audience and lots of people. But for that movie, because it seems quiet and small, I kind of want it on the big screen a little bit quieter. I don't want the goofy kids going to see it.
Yeah.
So Backrooms is way up there because Kane Parsons, when he directed Backrooms, was only 20 years old, and there was all this garbage online about how there's no way a kid directed this. He didn't really direct it. Well, Mark Duplass, who if you know anything about like mumblecore, Mark and Jay are kind of the forerunners of the mumblecore, the smaller movies that are dialogue driven. He goes around for certain studios, A24 being one of them, where he goes and he provides mentorship on sets for first time directors and things.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of time on set, and his paraphrasing what he said, but he said, he basically said, I literally did nothing on this set. I have never seen someone come in more prepared to work with actors, more prepared to work with the crew than Kane Parsons on that set. I was just more there for moral support if he needed it, but I've never seen someone more prepared.
Have you seen any of the shorts?
I haven't yet.
I only watched the first one, but
the trailers.
It opens with him directing people. Like it opens with like footage of him. Yeah, it was like a young man directing. Like, okay, well that's good for this shot. Like he's directing some silly scene with somebody in a rubber mask, and then he's like, all right, listen, all I need now, we got that shot. We just need a wide. I need you to come over, like, real quick directing. I'm like, if that's people's first introduction to this kid. I don't know enough about it to know that I'm correct on all that.
I can't go beyond that, but I'm gonna, if he is what
it looks scary, man. Like I watched the first one and I was thinking, I need to watch this in the dark. Like this is the wrong. It's like somebody who took Severance and said, "What if Severance was creepy and made your skin crawl?" You know, more than it already does.
Honestly, Severance already does that. Really,
true,
really
very
well.
true. But it also gives you bewilderment. Like what?
It tempers it with the real world, right?
Yeah.
Like Severance, you get out of the. So there's some tempering there. Yeah, I am super excited for Backrooms.
Okay.
All things if in a perfect world, we will be talking about that in the next couple of weeks because I will get out and watch it.
I have another thing I was going to ask you about. I just saw a trailer. This is a little older. I think it came out 2023. But the movie Strange Darling. Do you know this movie?
I know the movie. I haven't watched it.
Okay. The trailer looks interesting. Serial killer, the people, and I can't remember the guy's name. Not T.J. Miller. J.T. Hooker, I think is the guy who made it. J.T. Milne. T.J. Milne.
Yeah, Milner. Yeah.
But whatever his name is. The guy who wrote and directed it. It looks kind of creepy. It looks like it has some style and all those things. But at the end of the commercial, the trailer that I saw, mind you, this I know 3 years ago now, but the director of photography was Giovanni Ribisi.
Really?
Now, didn't Giovanni Ribisi isn't he the camera guy?
So Giovanni Ribisi has one of the largest vintage camera collections, and he actually loaned one of the few in existence working
VistaVision
camera that for One Battle After Another.
Yeah, the VistaVision stuff. Yeah, which I looked and his thing. He's only got 4 other credits besides this movie as cinematographer, and their music videos by like Beck and stuff. So obviously it's an interest. This is the first shot he's really taking. I would watch it almost for that, but it made me think that again. I don't know this for sure, but he was in Lost in Translation. He's playing a photographer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if somewhere in that research for the role or whatever he was doing or in trying to embody it, he found an actual interest in the technology. I'd be curious to know if that's where a lot of it started.
And Strange Darling it's been on my list because it's an Oregon set movie.
Oh, is it?
It takes place in and around Hood River.
That's why my mom is in it. I thought that was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I definitely want to watch it. It's just one of those that I haven't gotten around to.
He's a child actor who's it's smart when they go behind the camera. I've been watching a lot of Married with Children, which I have honestly not watched in 30-something years. Surprisingly, I'm laughing at it. I think it's funny. Sure. I get what it is, all those things. But it made me curious, like, what's David Fassino doing? Have you ever heard of National Lampoon's Robo-Doc from 2009? Yeah. Me neither. I don't know how National Lampoon's, do they loan their name out or I don't know how that, right?
It used to be you had to be, your film had to have something to do with an actual Lampoon member.
Yeah.
And now they've got like Dorm Days and all these things
that
have nothing to do with the Harvard Lampoon.
I ran across a golf one called National Lampoon's Pucked. National Lampoon's Pucked is for hockey. It is hockey, but there's a
The
National
golf
Lampoon.
one.
There's the golf one too. National Lampoon's Golf Jerks or Golf Punks. Like and I don't know, but anyways, just curious. National Lampoon's RoboDoc. If you're interested, look at the IMDb because it's ridiculous. I think it's a parody off of RoboCop. I don't really know. Anyways, that's all different. Forgetting all that, I did watch a couple of trailers. Have you seen the trailer yet for How to Rob a Bank? It looks good, man. It's like a modern day Robin Hood kind of thing, except for it's mixing in this YouTube content driven
Because that's
kids.
where we're at. Yeah.
I cannot remember any of these actors' names. They're all big names you would know, but for some reason it's all escaping me. But if you get a chance, check out the trailer for How to Rob a Bank. I actually am interested in this, and I'm trying to remember who's behind it. But a solid movie. But
Well, you know what? I will make this promise to you. I will watch it before our next episode. No, I haven't even heard of it, so I'll definitely look it up.
yeah, it looks like a heist movie. You know how I love those. And it looks like a robbery movie, but there's a little bit of a Bonnie and Clyde Robin Hood thing going on with it.
Right.
They're robbing people and getting support because they're like, these banks are screwing everybody. We're going to take their money and we're going to whatever. All true.
Which also sounds very similar to the idea of what I Love Boosters is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Which I really want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Really want to see.
I like Sorry to Bother You. I don't know why it wasn't widely, received as well. Like
right.
I know the people who watched it liked it.
Boots
Riley is a weirdo but a genius at the same time.
Yeah, and he's the reason that I know who Lakeith Stanfield is.
Yeah, not from Atlanta, huh? I know.
No,
from
because
Atlanta.
I came to Atlanta late. I didn't come to Atlanta until you forced me to come to Atlanta.
To be honest, it's the opposite for me because I've loved Atlanta. And Lakeith stands out so much. It's such a brilliant character. He's so good that when Sorry to Bother You came out, I went and watched that because of Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah. See, and I watched, and that was when I was deep in the Netflix recommendations. Oh, you watch these 8 things? Watch this one next. Which I try to ignore now.
Speaking of robbery and things like that, I have a movie from 1998 that I'm curious if you've seen. I would imagine you might have, but it's 1998's Free Money. Charlie Sheen, Thomas Hayden Church, and Marlon Brando.
Never seen.
It's Marlon Brando's last movie, I think. Or no, not his last movie. It's one of his last movies.
One of his last movies. Wasn't the score like his last movie?
The score, I think, was his last movie in 2002, I think. But the concept of this is it's a small town. Marlon Brando, very large Marlon Brando at this point, like the larger than anything else I've ever seen.
Right.
Is like a corrupt prison warden in this very small little weird kind of town. Thomas Hayden Church and Charlie Sheen, both good actors. I don't like Charlie Sheen all the time.
I like Thomas Hayden Church a lot.
I do a lot, and he's very good in this. But they get tricked into they're dating these, and again, they don't. They're high school girls who are still in high school, twins who are Marlon Brando's daughters, excuse me, and they get tricked into thinking that they got these girls pregnant, so then they have to get married. Well, they have to get married, and they all end up having to live in the same house, but Marlon Brando is a super religious person, so he makes them all sleep in separate bedrooms or whatever. It's silly and goofy, but their lives are miserable. Marlon Brando's a horrible person. He kills convicts all the time because they piss him off and all of those things. But at some point, they get the idea to rob a train. The movie was pretty okay. I saw it in 1998-99. It's a comedy. It's weird that Marlon Brando was okay doing it. The people, everybody wanted to work with Marlon Brando, so that was the reason a lot of these people signed up. I think famously, I can't remember what it was, Thomas Hayden Church turned down some other very great role. I cannot remember what it was right now, but it's in the trivia somewhere, to be in this movie only because of the fact
that I got to work with Marlon.
I got to work with Marlon Brando. But I don't know.
He was going to be in Saving Private Ryan. He was offered a role, and he said, "God, you can't miss a chance."
Turn down Spielberg to work with
Brando. And this is Brando at the height of ruining everyone's career because he didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like he had just a couple years before this, he did Frankenheimer's terrible Island of
Dr.
Dr.
Moreau.
Moreau,
Right.
which Frankenheimer never directed again because of the hard time of working with Marlon Brando.
That's
Which
enough fun.
pissed me off.
I'm gonna
I
go
pissed
sell
me
shoes because I don't want to work with these
I
people
don't want to do
anymore.
that ever again. Um, oh,
Yeah, it's a listen. It's a decent movie. I think it's streaming some places. It's good for background. I bet you'd be
yeah.
pulled into it a little bit more than you realize. It's weird the stuff that they're obviously older. They must be in their late 20s, early 30s. At least the characters they're playing. And then they get these high school girls pregnant, and that's not a focal point for
I
everybody.
hope.
Just that they'd be out of wedlock, so they have to get married. Very
Yeah.
weird. But anyways, I just want to mention that. But
The
I watched.
cast is pretty great.
I know it's a great cast of people. I would imagine
Yeah.
they all signed on for Marlon Brando.
Because of Marlon. Yeah.
Correct. But anyways, that's enough of that. I also watched a movie from 1947, a noir piece that I've been putting on the back burner for a little while, which is called T-Men, Treasury Men. It's the guys who are trying to stop a counterfeit ring. Have you seen this movie?
I haven't seen T-Men.
I'm
Worth it?
desperately trying to think of. It's very good. It's a police procedural, but done in a federal agency kind of way, where they're basically
Okay.
infiltrating a ring of people who are making all these counterfeit bills. They have fake plates. They're baiting the hook, trying to get involved in it. It's really good. It plays very realistic. I'm desperately trying to remember anybody who's in it. Strong movie. As far as noir, it's not even noir. It's more. It is crime procedural. But from 1947, that's pretty early for crime
Yeah.
procedural.
Yeah, I mean
the
that
re-
predates well, that even predates the show that is kind of credited with the genre, and that's Dragnet. And that's
Right,
not
well-
for a few years later.
The one that I always think of, by the way, and this is I didn't watch this recently, but The Naked City, I think it's
That's a
1950.
great one. Yeah.
That one is a
Yeah.
damn straight police procedural. You don't know anybody in it, and it plays just like you're investigating a murder case, everything else. But in that same vein, sorry, I was curious. Early police procedurals, and Akira Kurosawa made Stray Dog in 1949.
Yeah,
And
that one is very much.
it's a modern. Have you seen it? Right?
Yeah.
I bought the Criterion now, but it's really good. They're basically the weird thing is it's a Japanese police officer, modern day, and somebody steals his gun, and that's a very big deal, especially because I don't know, it's just a big deal to not. And this is so right after World War II, so you're dealing with a lot of the rebuilding. But he spends the entire movie trying to track down his gun. It's also Toshiro Mifune, which is his go-to. You would know him in so many things. But anyways, that's a really cool movie. Very police procedural. T-Men is earlier than this, which is also weird because Stray Dog gets a lot of the credit for being the first or one of the first police procedurals in that format. All great movies, even Free Money, but T-Men and Stray Dogs is really good.
Yeah. T-Men,
Anywho.
just looking at some of the stills from it, it has that noir, everyone's sweaty all the time look about it, which I really enjoy because it makes it feel like it adds to
Real.
the feeling of stress.
Right.
in the
It's very
situation.
real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I must have been on a hook with the police procedurals because I also watched While the City Sleeps. It's Fritz Lang's movie from '56. Have you
Which I
seen that?
haven't seen that one.
That was also really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was. Well, I don't know why that happened. That's four of the few movies I watched were all those. But anyways, I got a bunch more. What else you got?
So I watched a movie that you really enjoy. I think you really enjoyed. I thought it was fine. I watched Good Fortune. Aziz
Okay, you didn't like it?
Ansari,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves. No, it's not that I didn't like it. It's a 2.5. It's right in the middle. It didn't like. I wanted it to be funnier, or I wanted it to be more dramatic, and it just never picked a lane for me. I love the idea of the movie. Obviously, because I love It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Destiny. I love the idea of the movie, the way it works, but it just kept wanting it to be something more,
Yeah, there's some
either
missing
more
from
dramatic or more over the top, or more humor, more. but
Right.
I enjoyed it. I thought Keanu Reeves played himself really well.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
really feel like that is Keanu Reeves, the guy who just wants to enjoy food and go do stupid things like an ice bath. Like that's
Yeah. Yeah.
like I was like, okay, I could see you doing that. Um,
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari is good in it. Kiki Palmer's beautiful, and
Yeah.
she's got some good stuff. I like that. I think what they did is they just tried to have
Push
so
an
many
agenda.
points into so many agendas. The union thing and the be a good person thing, and
Yeah.
it was just too many. You were trying to balance spin too many plates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a bad movie, but just it didn't.
The
It didn't.
social inequity point was what they should have put all the focus on. But I
Yes.
think they were trying to rationalize and bring in the union stuff and all these other things. I agree with you. I liked it a lot, but I think I gave it a 3. Just a little bit over that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't.
like
I wasn't going to win any
wouldn't-
awards.
I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but it's
Right.
also not a movie that I'm ever gonna like probably seek out again.
Yeah, I like the social
it's fine.
messaging, but yeah, same deal. Yeah.
I did watch. I watched this really, actually, surprisingly funny
Schindler's
little
List.
1942 film heist movie, but more fast-paced screwball side, which is against type. It's an Edward G. Robinson movie called Larceny Inc. from
Wait,
1942.
is that where they have a luggage store?
Yeah, with the luggage store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I enjoyed this one quite a bit with Jane Wyman
Yeah.
as the. I think she's the daughter. Is
Who
I
are
don't
the
know if
other?
she's really his daughter, but Broderick Crawford as the one of the co-conspirators. Like he gets out of jail. Edward G. Robinson. The whole thing. He wants to go straight. He wants to buy a dog track in Florida, but he needs money.
Yeah.
And nothing is going his way, so they're gonna buy this little luggage shop, and they're gonna dig into the bank next door to rob the bank, so they can
Yep.
then go straight. It's you know what, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was really funny. I thought the slapstick worked really well. I thought the balance of the characters coming and going through the focal point of that luggage shop, where the one
Yeah.
guy, oh, you mean it's not gonna be here for a couple of months? I'm gonna be long gone by then. Yeah, send me. I'll take 2 dozen of those. Yeah, give me a dozen of those. Just start
Yeah.
ordering everything.
Who is his accomplice? I can't remember. Edward G. Robinson.
Broderick Crawford.
Who is that? I'm trying to picture his face. Doesn't matter. Keep
I
going.
can't show you his face.
Why not? I like call him in. Get him over here.
Get him over
Miles. I liked that movie. I thought it was really good. It actually gave me a funny idea. I just barely got out of an outline, or didn't even finish my outline, for like a story about basically similar concept of crooks who want to rob something using the location that they take, but let's call it a phone store. I don't even think I directed
Right.
what they were going to be. Becomes really successful, and they keep trying to. It's a comedy, and they keep trying to keep the heist idea going. Like they're going to go rob this place, they're going to break through the wall or whatever it is. But the store keeps getting more and more business, and they open a second location. And anyways,
Yeah.
I didn't get very far, but I thought it was there's a lot of funny stuff. in
Jane Wyman is like she was a really good actress. Too bad she had
Yeah.
to spend those 9 years with Ronnie. 'Cause she was Ronald Reagan's first wife.
that. Right.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought because it's got all those things that were great about like the pre-code movies, the fast talking kind
Yeah.
of screwball nature of it. But it is much more. It is much more of 1942. So you're fully following all the rules. Everybody's gonna have fun and all that.
If you had asked me, let's say before I really started this classic movie journey, 7 years, 7 years ago, 6, 7. If you had asked me 10 years ago if I would I laugh at Edward G. Robinson or would I like his movies? I love Edward G. Robinson. And I wouldn't have said no. I just would have thought of him as a Looney Tunes character because that's really
Right, 'cause he
the
was-
most the association is that he's easily
and Peter Lorre.
yeah, and a little Jimmy Cagney. But Edward G. Robinson is great in so many things. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
so many of his movies that are just
I love him in the Dick Van Dyke movie, Never a Dull Moment. Oh, so good. If you can ever,
think I know that one.
it's really hard to find. But it was directed by a guy named Lloyd Bacon.
Yeah.
And Lloyd Bacon comes up a lot apparently for me recently because Lloyd Bacon famously did like all of the Joe E. Brown, Alibi Ike, Elmer the Great stuff. So I watched because I happened to watch another Lloyd Bacon movie called 6 Day Bike Rider,
Okay.
little pre-code from 1934. This time Joe Brown plays the he runs the it's the train depot, but it's not the train depot but it's more post office style train depot where packages come in and out. And this guy's coming to town. There's gonna be a 6 day bicycle race, and somehow Joey Brown ends up getting duped into joining the race, and it's got all of his pratfalls and everything. What it is Joe's character Wilfred Simpson has a girlfriend, and this trick bicyclist who's come to town keeps hitting on her, so his jealousy causes him to keep doing all these. It's Elmer the Great again, but this time with bike riding. So
I wish.
it's not going to be for you. I'm not going to recommend it to you. But
I wish Joey Brown. I just had so much trouble with Elmer the Great.
Yeah,
that,
and I liked Elmer the Great. I do like Elmer the Great. I didn't like Alibi Ike, but 6 Day Bike Rider was better.
Okay,
but it's that same kind of silly, over the top Joey Brown doing his best Joey Brown impression.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's doing in there.
Yeah.
What else have you been watching?
I only have a couple more that I could bring up. I watched a 1925 silent movie called The Ragman.
No talking in that one? Because that's
There's
right.
No talking. Called The Ragman. It's Jackie Coogan. It's pretty much like the kid is 1923, I think, with Charlie Chaplin. So it's kind of like somewhere in there. But this is
early.
This was 25, and so I feel like they didn't have Charlie Chaplin. They're like, let's just make another movie with this character.
Yeah.
And so he's like an orphan kid who the orphanage he's in burns down at the very beginning, and they think he's dead, but he goes and hides out with a junk collector in 1925
I watched
in New York.
this movie.
Yeah,
I didn't write it down. I just watched this the other day.
It's pretty good. Like it's the kid is great. Jackie Coogan
was a fantastic actor.
Such a great. I mean, if you see it in the kid, so 2 years later he's gotten better. But he's great in both, and he's great as Uncle Fester. But it's funny because his mannerisms in this movie, I do see the stuff that I recognize as the Uncle Fester character. Do you know what I mean?
So in the kid, you don't necessarily see it as much because he's so much younger.
And but Chaplin, I'm sure, is very directing him. Don't do that with your face. Don't do this.
At about 10, his face has taken on the Uncle Fester. No, and because of him, we have Coogan's Law that has been redone numerous times to protect children.
And Coogan's Bluff, the movie from 1960s.
Yep. No, yeah, I watched that, and that. So I did a rest of the story thing for YouTube on Jackie Coogan because I watched that movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, we need to talk about this guy because he's responsible for a lot, and it's in
the worst possible way.
Right. It's really dramatic. So when I was doing my research to write that, Jackie Coogan's dad, Jack Coogan, was everything you wanted a stage parent to be. He protected his son. He took care of his son. His dad, unfortunately, died very young. His stepfather, the man who then marries his mom, they're the ones who stole all the money.
Shit.
So it's really depressing, really sad story.
Step parents are either aliens or they're just bad people. My
stepmother is an alien.
It's a really dumb joke. I only have one more that I do want to talk about, which is I watch Robert Wise as a director and editor. I do like Robert Wise. Everything except for 1980 Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which I just thought was too long. But he's a great eye, and he tells a great story. The Devil and Daniel Webster from 47 is really phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But I also watched a movie called Born to Kill from 1947. Who's this?
So I saw this. This was on TCM the other day, right?
So yeah.
Yeah, so, I saw that it was going to be on, but I didn't watch it.
Claire Trevor is the lead actress. The thing that's most notable is that Lawrence Tierney is in this. It's one of his very early movies.
That's what caught me. That's
Lawrence
what
Tierney.
Lawrence Tierney.
But also, as you would know, Elisha Cook Jr. Not everybody would know him, but I know you do. But anyways, Lawrence Tierney plays. You can barely tell because we know Lawrence Tierney he plays Elaine's dad in Seinfeld one episode. He famously is the main ringleader in Reservoir Dogs. Yes. Like that's the thing people would know him from. He's the whatever the daddy, whatever.
He's the one. He gives them the color names. He's responsible for the biggest hook in that whole thing.
But he was a young actor, so in 1947, basically he is a pardon my language, horrible person, a crook, taking advantage of people. He's brutal. He's sadistic, and he's a murderer. But Elisha Cook Jr., I don't know their relationship, but he keeps trying to protect him. Like so, Lawrence Tierney kills somebody in Reno. That's where the movie opens.
Just
and then
Elisha Cook Jr. Right?
And then Lawrence or Elisha Cook's like, "You just get out of town. I'll hide all this. I'll make it all disappear." So, anyways, he shows up in some other town in I think San Francisco, but he shows up and then like somehow gets to be a house guest at somebody's house, and then the woman who just got married to a really affluent, normal, stable guy likes Lawrence Tierney because he's the bad guy. He's the bad boy. He's rough. He seems dark. He seems brooding. He seems all those things, but he's fucking sadistic, crazy guy. I cannot recommend this movie higher to you. It's got a 4 out of 5 of 4 on my scale, which is really high. It's great. I've never had characters I despise this much, and I mean despise. Like I in a weird way. Like I could watch Hannibal Lecter has a little charm to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hannibal Lecter, you're like, I mean, I don't like him, but I'm not gonna, but, like, he's kind of funny. Michael Myers, he turns his head like a way about dog. Him. The way he lumbers around is the shape. But this, I hate a couple of these characters so much because you're supposed to. And it was Born to Kill. Highly recommend it. Yeah. If it's still available on streaming, you should check it out. If not, it's worth watching. But Robert Wise is a genius, and this one just falls right into that. And Lawrence Tierney, for Christ's sake. Anyways, what else you got?
And, the last thing that I got that I really want to talk about leads into today's episode.
Sure. What is that?
It is this little movie from 1993. So you probably missed it when it first came out because you would have been about 15. I was about 14, but I had a younger brother, so I still got to catch a lot of these, and that's The Sandlot.
Okay.
I love The Sandlot. Takes place in the early 60s, new kid in town, kind of the nerdy kid. He gets links up with a bunch of boys who play Sandlot baseball all summer long. And
stickball, somewhat, right?
Stickball for some of you. Yeah, and it's got that kind of, it's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
It looks on childhood as the best time of your life. And Dennis Leary has a small part in it as the stepdad. Karen Allen plays
smoking the whole time.
He never touches a cigarette.
Double fisting cigarettes.
Which is weird because in 1962 he would have been chain smoking at the table while it's working. But I love The Sandlot, and this episode drops the week of baseball's All-Star game.
Woo-hoo. Ah.
So being a big baseball fan, Dave being a big Chargers fan, I'm sorry. We are going to let's talk sports movies today. So
let me just say, let me preempt this. Yes, we both made a list of sports movies in this very long, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
But Sorensen told me, our good friend Sorensen reminded me, or told me a long time ago that he doesn't like sports. He's not a big sports fan. He never has been.
Not a sports ball player.
But But he's like, but I like movies about sports, and I think there's an underdog quality with them.
Yes.
I think you can not like a sport, you can not like a lot of things, and find. I don't like tailoring, but The Phantom Thread is a beautiful movie. You know what I mean? But I don't want to watch somebody tailor. You know.
Unless it's Daniel Day-Lewis, then I'll watch it for 2.5 hours.
So, by the way, I did not mention this, but one last movie I did watch, which was I should remember this. We left last week because we were talking about college movies.
Yes.
And one of the movies that came up was the movie Blue Chips from '94. Yeah, Blue Chips from '94 with Nick Nolte. I think it was the first thing Shaquille O'Neal was on the screen. Yeah. Like, he was still a very early basketball player. He wasn't.
He looked like a 7'1" baby.
Yeah. So Blue Chips came up, and that kind of led us into let's talk about sports and make lists next week. I watched Blue Chips last night.
Did you?
It was on. It happened to be on after our discussion. Not planned. So, anyways, Mel and I watched it. First of all, Mel also doesn't really care about sports, but she liked the movie, and it's because it's not necessarily about sports. But I do want to say, Blue Chips, I was a little like, it can't be very good. It's '90s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is William Friedkin, the guy who did The Exorcist and Popeye O'Doyle, French Connection.
French Connection.
Live and Die in LA. Fantastic director.
If you've ever seen a movie where they hate cops.
They hate Sorensen also.
Shout out to Sorensen again. Friedkin hates cops.
But, so anyways, he did this movie, and some of the ways, some of the methods, some of the trivia and stuff is fascinating or whatever. I was a little worried, like, it's 90s. This is 94.
Yeah.
You know how my feeling about 90s movies overscored and everything else.
Overscored. Yeah.
This is not. This is better than I rememred it being. If you haven't watched it in a long time, I was going to
say I haven't seen it in whatever 1994 for 30 years.
Same. I saw it in the theater with my buddy Max because we used to go to movies like 3 times a week or whatever. Sure. But I saw it with him. I liked it then, but it kind of just faded away. I was going to message you last night and say if you can find this because it's on Paramount Plus, so you should watch it. Yeah. But I didn't, and it was late.
But
whatever.
But
I did. But I didn't want to. So... No, I don't think it's fair to give you a task or some homework at like 8 o'clock at night. Like, watch this for the morning.
Let me do it.
But anyways, it's really good. Shaquille O'Neal is charming in it, and I have all of this preconceived stuff because of Shaquille O'Neal, who he is now. He's kind of the big dumb guy who does Papa John's commercials, and I've seen him on. He's on too many things. The general insurance commercials, everything. And God love him. He needs the money, I guess.
I guess.
Anyways, but he in this is young, he's slender, charming, all of those things. Some of the backstory, because it's him and like Penny Hardaway, and I liked the movie a lot, like really a lot, and so did Mel. So it's worth watching.
I do think that it's one that I could definitely like. Born to Kill, probably not talking Jennifer into watching. Blue Chips, he may sit down and watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'll definitely. I wanted to watch. I didn't realize it was streaming. Hadn't looked, but yeah, that's awesome. So I'm glad it held up because that very much feels like the kind of movie that on rewatch is going to be pretty terrible.
That's what I was expecting, especially because I'm so critical of the score and music being so annoying. I can tell you, there's some music, original soul, jazz music. Not score, and it's used sporadically. But there's also the most important thing, which they forgot in the 90s. It's okay for the character to have a quiet moment. Yeah. A character can just sit there and just look off.
Let him breathe with whatever emotion, whatever thing they're dealing. Yes.
There is one scene that I thought was a little dumb, and just because as he's thinking, they're flashing back with what he's thinking about. And I personally think that your audience is smarter than that. We don't need to know that he's thinking about these scenes. You don't have to show us the scenes. But other than that, it's good.
Oh,
and
he's thinking? Cool. Prove it.
He just looked pensive. I thought maybe he just needed to use the restroom.
I had to go
but anyways, I made a list. You made a list. Let's make a list.
Did. And bringing up Blue Chips makes me think of, because I would have assumed that Blue Chips maybe wouldn't have aged very well. I'm glad to hear that it did, but because of that, it makes me think of another basketball movie that I've got to believe didn't age very well. Have you watched anytime recently Space Jam?
I have never in my life seen Space Jam.
You haven't seen Space Jam. I remember as a younger human, 1996, so what, 17ish years old, watched it in the theater. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I remember enjoying it, but it's come back around now and it's being talked about more because obviously a few years ago LeBron
Yeah.
James did his and just got panned because it was terrible. I hope that it stands up. And I mean, it's Bill Murray. Danny DeVito does a voice of one of the Monstars. Wayne Knight at the height of his
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld run.
Yeah.
Well, 1996 is going to be tail end of Seinfeld and starting to get into his Third Rock from the Sun run.
This is 96 would have been like season 7 of Seinfeld.
Yeah,
like
which-
that's when it was steadily the number one.
Yeah, but it was the last 3 years of him being, so it's the last, what, because season 9 is the last season, so he was already just a featured player on the show. He wasn't a star of the show because he was also doing Third Rock from the Sun, playing the cop. So he's got, but this is the height of Wayne Knight. 3 years earlier, he's the chubby guy who causes all of the things to break loose in Jurassic Park.
Or the guy who's sweating watching what's her name?
Or the guy sweating a couple of years before
in
that.
Basic Instinct, Sharon Stone showing off her beaver. That's a nice beaver you got there.
But I don't know. So Space Jam is one of those that I hope it stands up because it's one of the few times that I've actually liked the cartoon characters from my childhood in a full-length movie. Tom and Jerry, that full-length movie was just so bad. I wanted it to be good. It didn't like that. So often when they try to stretch it, it doesn't
Isn't it?
work.
It's only
Like,
it's only the Looney Tunes guys, right?
this one's only the Looney Tunes guys.
I watched a absolutely fascinating backstory on the problem with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We'll get into that another time. But the fact that they had so many different IP or different characters from different things is the reason that
they made everywhere.
the reason that they squashed it and tried to kill anything. A couple of years after the movie came out, they wanted it to disappear so nobody ever talked about it again. But in 96 also there's a movie that I haven't seen in a long time, but I remember Celtic Pride in 96. Do you remember this movie?
I do. It's on my list because I remember, again, it's Dan Aykroyd and Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern and is it Dan Aykroyd? And they kidnap
the other one?
Damon Wayans.
They kidnapped Damon Wayans. But yeah, I remember thinking it was funny all those years ago.
Right.
I wouldn't call it like the kind of movie you aspire to, but yeah, I remember it. I enjoyed it back then.
Well, the reason I note it was I didn't know this back then. I saw it back in 96, 97, but it's written by Colin Quinn and Judd Apatow, which I did not know. That's what stood out to me is that Judd Apatow, who I wouldn't have known anything about then. Even if I didn't know the Larry Sanders Show, I did know the Ben Stiller Show, and he had already successfully done that for a half a season before they canceled the number one show.
The Boston angle makes a lot of sense with Colin Quinn because his stand-up,
Colin Quinn from
SNL.
from MTV's Remote Control. We all remember. Just kidding.
I remember Colin Quinn, and in 1996 I would have known who Colin Quinn was because I think it was still in his run at SNL. Yeah, and huge Boston guy, and it's definitely Dan Aykroyd. I remember thinking it was funny. I love the idea of the two overzealous fans doing anything to make their team help their team
it's
win.
The comedy version of, if you remember the movie The Fan with Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro, where he kidnaps his favorite player, but that's like a kind of sadistic suspense thriller.
A little bit.
This was like let's make a silly one with the guy from
What
Major
if we
Payne.
did that but funny?
With the guy
What
from
if we
Major
did that
Payne.
but fun?
But it was. I always liked the movies that were more an ancillary, more around the sport as much as anything else. I like the other stuff that's happening, like Teen Wolf from '85. You know, there's a lot of basketball in that movie. I don't know how Michael
There's
J.
a
Fox.
surprising amount of
Well,
basketball.
the thing is, Michael J. Fox was going to be in that with Melora Hardin, but she was too short. She needed to be taller. I'm just kidding. But what a silly movie. When we get to boxing, we'll bring up like Teen Wolf 2. By the way, go ahead.
Well, sticking with basketball, since that's kind of where we
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
We don't need to talk about it because it's like going to be sort of Rushmore-y, but 1986 Hoosiers with Gene Hackman is a fantastic movie, but one that I think is it's back in the zeitgeist a little bit now because they just did a remake of it with like
Air Bud,
the white rapper Jack Harlow, called White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, it's on my list. I got that.
The original White Men Can't Jump. Speaking of Wesley Snipes, but this time more.
Is Rosie Perez? She's in that, right?
Yeah, Rosie Perez. She's
Rosie
the girlfriend
Perez
who dreams of being on Jeopardy.
By the way, Ben Mankiewicz has a podcast that got Ben Mankiewicz from TCM. I really like him as a personality. His lineage in film, his family is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, he has a podcast that's really good. I can't remember the name right now. Talking Pictures. But
Talking Pictures.
No, that's a Plot Thickens is a deep dive into a specific.
Yeah,
great.
That's
But
yes.
He interviews people, and he interviewed. He did Edgar Wright a couple of weeks ago. But anyways, he did Rosie Perez. First of all, I did not know Rosie Perez. I knew she was a film fan, but she is a film. She knows film.
She knows.
I have all these I have all these preconceived notions about her, and that was such a great interview to learn.
Plays, right?
Correct. Yeah, and her voice. I mean,
right. Well, it's the same thing with. Well, speaking of that, it's the same thing with.
It's like Bobby Driscoll's face. Good. Yeah. Well, but he found a way to, as a man, to make that work for him instead of against him.
Right. But you have these preconceived notions like, oh, he's just this obnoxious comedian with that weird grating voice, but he is a wealth of film knowledge. Just like apparently so is Rosie Perez. I love that.
I will credit Gilbert Gottfried with giving me the real push. His podcast, which again I say no other podcast exists. No other podcast exists except for this one. But if one did, his podcast I listened to years ago, and I remember thinking, I don't know a lot of the stuff they're talking about. I don't know. I might know of this movie or I might know this bit about it, but I hated that, and I felt like as a cinephile, I credit that show with really saying, you need to get your ass out there and watch all these movies. Hence my list and this deep dive stuff. But yeah, I like that. The 90s were really big, especially because I think I was younger. I was at the right age. I was in my teen years. I was just graduating high school and listening, so I watched a lot of those. But like, do you remember Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg, where
she's like
the number one fan? Is it the Knicks?
The fan. Yeah, she's a big Knicks fan. Yeah, yes.
And she's like the number one fan, and like as a promotional thing, they let her be the coach.
Coach for a day, kind of. Yeah.
And then she becomes the coach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember liking that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. But
haven't seen it since then.
It's charming. But I wonder if it's because I liked Whoopi Goldberg a lot at the time, because I remember I also liked The Associate. Remember that movie she did, where she dresses up in whiteface as an old white man?
Yes, I do. How about Above the Rim with Tupac and Marlon Wayans?
Yeah. Also 90s. How come all these movies are in the 90s? Oh, you know why? You think
was huge for me.
Well, I think it was for everybody, wasn't it? Michael Jordan's playing. You have the Dream Team going. Mm-hmm. Like, I think basketball was right in everybody's mind at the time. Like right now, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are putting football in front of everything.
Yeah, right.
He's playing Taylor Swift.
Plug to get the Swifties.
So, anyways, Taylor Swift.
1994, one of the greatest documentaries ever comes out, and that Hoop Dreams.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Nah.
How about He Got Game?
I've seen He Got Game, which I do like. I like Denzel in that that role as a troubled but nurturing, like a thought leader trying to guide his son and through all those kind of things like that. It fit in with that fresh idea, the inner city. But Hoop Dreams, I knew then I should watch it. I just never got around to it. So I eventually
I enjoy it.
Do you count the Basketball Diaries as a basketball movie, or do you count it as the drug movie? I think it's a little crossover,
I mean, it's a
but mostly it's drug.
movie with
Mostly it's drugs.
ancillary basketball.
Just in the title.
with little basketball, the idea of basketball.
Do you count Slam Dunk Ernest?
Absolutely.
I've actually never seen it.
It's all about him playing basketball. But if you want to go silly, then I'll move you. I want to move us over to football. And I don't know if this is any good. I haven't seen it in, God, 35 years or more, or right around. Necessary Roughness with Scott Bakula.
Yeah, 93.
College football movie.
Oh, what's her name is the kicker?
Yeah, that's why I watched it. Yes,
Kathy Ireland. That's right.
Kathy Ireland as the kicker. Robert Loggia and Hector Elizondo are the coaches. Sinbad's in it.
Yeah.
Larry Miller playing the douchebag that he plays in everything, and he's amazing at.
Again, saw that in the theater in '91, right? Saw that in the theater.
I saw it in the theater in '91. I remember thinking it was really funny. Maybe it's still funny. I hope it is. This is back when I really liked Sinbad still.
Right.
I don't know what he's doing these days, so I can't say I don't like him.
He's just a house guest in Phil Hartman's house, even though he's not there anymore.
Now I want to watch that movie just to remember my buddy Phil.
I think there was a lot of football stuff in the 80s too, and again, I think it's about what culture is gravitating towards. Wildcats, which is the Goldie Hawn movie.
Yes.
Famously as a kid, I remember Goldie Hawn is in the bathtub and you get to see her topless. Just barely, but as a kid, that was a big deal to me. Don't ask me why. But anyways, that movie was also made by, who made Wildcats? The guy who directed it. Can't remember. Guy. But he's directed a handful of stuff on my list, which I think is fascinating. I don't think he did Best of Times, but same year that movie Best of Times.
That's another great football movie, right? Yeah.
Right, which is Robin Williams, Kurt Russell, Michael Ritchie, but he directed. I'm losing everything. Fletch, a ton of stuff, but he has another sports movie on my list because I kept running across him. But anyways, Best of Times is like what's his name? Robin Williams and Kurt Russell as middle-aged men who were friends in high school. They were both big on the football team. It was their quote-unquote glory days. Something happened, and I think they lost the big game for some reason. And so Robin Williams never quite got over it. He talks about it all the time with his wife, and he and Kurt Russell are still friends. And he convinces Kurt Russell, like drunkenly one night, let's replay that game. Let's get the other team. And so these guys who are supposed to be our age, although I think they were like 30, but much older guys are trying to play a game they lost 25 years ago. And I remember
that one a lot too.
Well, it was Robin Williams and Kurt Russell. I don't know how you go wrong.
Well,
and their
I can
wives.
Still picture the cover box. It's like got the Letterman's jacket, the picture of the yearbook, and I still picture
it's a funny movie. It's one of those Robin Williams movies where he was half serious but half. He didn't play the zany Robin Williams. He played the serious. Correct. Really cool movie.
You mentioned Michael Ritchie, and Michael Ritchie had a in the 70s was doing some other sports movies. One football, one baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
The football one I don't think anybody watched. It was called Semi-Tough. If you can find Semi-Tough, I highly recommend it.
Nick Nolte, right?
No. Semi-Tough is Burt Reynolds and Chris Christopherson and Jill Clayburgh. And Roger E. Mosley and a bunch of others. But the one that is on my list that we have to talk about, it's baseball, but that's his Bad News Bears.
That's right. Michael Ritchie.
His Bad News Bears is one of the
76.
76. It is one of the funniest movies. I'm not even talking baseball sport. It is one of the funniest movies you'll watch. It is so good. Walter Matthau, Tatum O'Neal, the creepy guy, the guy who grew up to look really creepy. The boy.
I'm losing all the names in that.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Thank you. He played Freddy Krueger later.
Who did grow up.
Well,
and Vic Morrow as the villain coach.
That's right. Who punches or slaps his kid around on the field. Yeah. That's I don't want to spoil the ending for a 50-year-old movie. But that's what happens, and then the kids give up. Well, listen, while we're still on football, I just wanted to mention we talked about Hail Caesar from 1994, which is Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall,
and he's kind of playing this douchebaggy character
that he
with an
really
earring
solidified in.
But I remember, you know where I'm going.
I do.
So in 1988, I remember seeing the movie Johnny Be Good, where Anthony Michael Hall is this hotshot, all-American quarterback.
Prodigy football player.
And every college wants him to come play there, and he's from this small town. And his best friend happens to be Robert Downey Jr. I'm sure
and
they were coked up.
His girlfriend is the beautiful Uma Thurman.
Absolutely young, gorgeous, and just all of those things. She's the best part of that movie.
Absolutely.
But he's such... J.T. Walsh, I think, is one of the other coaches. Speaking of blue chips, he's the bad guy in that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Johnny Be Good, he plays that douchebag character so well.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to root for him, I guess?
Yeah, you're kind of... Well, I haven't watched it in a long time. I mean, like you're supposed to root for him to make the right choice and go to the local college
and learn something. I think you're supposed to feed the. But if you don't like him, if you detest him that much in the beginning,
from the beginning,
I was just rooting for Uma Thurman. Like, just go out with Robert Downey Jr. He seems like a much nicer guy.
And it's so weird though that whatever 3 years earlier or whatever in Weird Science, how Robert Downey Jr. is the cool guy and Anthony Michael Hall is the geek. Yeah. And then that switched in a hurry. All of a sudden, Anthony Michael Hall grew. He got a little broader. Now he's the cool guy, and Robert Downey Jr. has to play the geeky sidekick.
And now it's the opposite.
And now it's back to the opposite. Now, did you watch? I know you don't watch a lot of Keanu Reeves, but I got two more football movies before we move on.
The Replacements.
The Replacements. Howard Deutsch, famous for being Leah Thompson's husband. And the guy who John Hughes would call if he couldn't direct a movie that he.
Oh, I didn't.
Great Outdoors was Howard. Anything that's a John Hughes movie that's not directed, it's pretty much Howard.
And who's this Von Dutch? You said? Just kidding.
No,
Howard Deutsch, right?
Howard Deutsch. But I remember liking The Replacements, but never believing that Keanu Reeves was going to be anywhere remotely a professional quarterback.
Right.
That didn't ever strike, but it seemed like I liked it, and I love Faison Love.
Yeah. He's great in so many things.
And Rhys Ifans shows up in this, and this is in there was this time, like 1998 to 2002, Rhys Ifans, I think it was in his contract. Don't quote me because I don't know, but it was in his contract that he had to appear at some point wearing nothing but tighty whities. Because every movie he was in, he ran around just in underwear.
Right.
And he's just this scrawny Scotsman or whatever he is.
Yeah, I don't remember from that movie. I vaguely remember the movie The Replacements.
He's the kicker.
That doesn't help. Kathy Ireland, right? I'm just kidding. That's the other movie.
No.
I'm just kidding. While we're on football, by the way, we should mention, because he's a friend of the show, Boaz Yakin famously did remember the Titans. It's Rushmore, so we shouldn't talk about it. But I just like mentioning he's a friend of the show. He's a big deal. He's a big deal around here.
He is a big deal around here. The last one that I really want to mention right now is one that I think is better than people give it credit for, and that's Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday.
Right.
I liked Any Given Sunday. I thought it was better than a lot of people did. It's definitely not for everybody. It's definitely in that just hyper stylized.
Yeah,
really.
It felt it was like that came out in 02 and
99.
In 99, and then I think was the style they used for Friday Night Lights. It was very digital photography they were doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For one thing. Yeah. But it gave it a I don't want to say a home video quality. That's not it at all. But they gave it
all of the football
less polished,
and all the football sequences are like overly edited. Like a shot that should take 4 cuts, it's 18 cuts. So you're just got this kinetic flying everywhere feel, but it kind of works in this play. And Al Pacino is great. this was the attempt for Elizabeth Berkley to try to revive her career because she plays the young girlfriend, I think, of Al Pacino's character.
Thanks for the
Didn't work.
hamburger. Yeah. Thanks for the cheeseburger.
Striptease. But yeah, I really liked Any Given Sunday. And then there's always the movies we don't ever talk about. Adam Sandler's Water.
Yeah. Well, and Lucas, famously from '86,
and,
is a lot. It's one of the better Charlie Sheen movies, even though he's not the main character in it.
No, and then I will shout out one last one is Varsity Blues, just because we recently lost James Vanderbeek, who is a much better actor than Varsity Blues would have led me to believe,
or any of his
seemed
Dawson's
like a really
Creek
good person.
Yeah, I watched Scary Movie the other day.
Yeah.
I think the new one dropped. I'm curious. I don't think it's getting received very well, but I have no idea. It's
I
comedy
don't
is
care.
subjective.
Comedy's different.
But he has this little cameo in that, and Mel and I were watching it, and I said, it's weird that he's dead. It's just weird to see this kid. And I didn't care much about him for a lot of years. Like, I didn't see Varsity Blues till 10 years after it came out. But
I saw it in the theater I saw it in the theater in the Gaslamp district of San Diego with all my Marine buddies.
Right.
I hated it. They loved it. We went and watched Rushmore like shortly after.
And the opposite.
I loved it. They all hated it. And that's when I knew.
I do want to mention a couple. I don't want to get listy about it, but obviously my favorite Harold Lloyd movie is The Freshman. That's highly focused on that. The Three Pigskins is very early. Stooges with Lucille Ball. Horse Feathers is one of the better Marx Brothers movies. But a couple I want to mention. The Long Shots that we talked about recently, which was Ice Cube and Keke Palmer, but it's directed by Fred Durst. I thought it was going to be really terrible. I was charmed by the movie.
Fred Durst how did he direct a movie?
I don't know.
Good for him.
Limp Bizkit style. But anyways, I did like it. I was just surprised how charming it was and how much I cared. Keke Palmer is phenomenal. But I lost my list. Sorry, my phone just dropped. But let me ask you a question. Because obviously on a lot of these lists comes up Jerry Maguire, and I know that's Rushmore. But in that, it brought up a TV show that I didn't really watch that I've always meant to. Did you watch Arliss on HBO? With Robert
I haven't.
Wool?
I like Robert Wool. I've heard great things about Arliss. I love the idea of what Arliss is, but I have never watched Arliss.
It's supposed to be very good as sports agent. You watch The League, right?
Yeah, I watched The League.
And I think there's a lot of the similar demographic for people who like both. And I'm just curious. Arliss is supposed to be really. It's like Larry Sanders meets The League.
Yeah,
I think he meets Jerry Maguire.
It definitely has that feel of a Larry Sanders type of drier humor, which is going to be way more my speed.
The only other football one I want to ask if you've seen is when the game stands tall. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
So the reason I mention it is, I mean, I live in Walnut Creek or Concord, California, and it's filmed like I could walk to the school De La Salle. It's right next door to me. And so a local thing, they didn't film anything here, which is very strange because it's all easy to, maybe California's too hard. They filmed in Louisiana. But it's about the undefeated record of De La Salle and their coach dying and all that stuff. It's supposed to be great. It's weird that I literally know the school they're talking about. I can almost see it from my house, and I have not watched the movie, and it's supposed to be great. I was curious if you had.
Yeah, I haven't. Who?
The only other thing, I guess I do want. Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty good, though. And it is a true story, again, school right here. The only other
now
one
I want to watch it because Michael Chiklis is in it.
Michael Chiklis is in it? As Vic Mackey. The only other thing is we should briefly mention Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr. because that's such a bad movie. I don't know why that movie exists.
Ed
I've
Harris
seen it.
is in
I've
it.
seen
I
it.
love Ed Harris.
Yeah. But I think sports is such a giant category. Like we could. My list was so much longer than anything here. I'm trying not to be listy about all these things. But I do want to mention a couple other things that are outside of the box. I have not seen Marty Supreme, but as far as table tennis, I put really I put a category together for like, let's just say different, like Rad is on here, or Dodgeball, or Cool Runnings, those kind of things. But I realize a lot of movies, and again, I think it's team sports or it's individual sports, but like a lot of fighting, boxing movies and stuff like that come up. And you and I both talked before this, and we were like, we don't really have anything that's quote unquote UFC, right? Although I was going to mention Here Comes the Boom, which I didn't hate, but I don't like.
And it's
but
not terrible.
But I mean, there's Sidekicks from 1992 with Garrett Graham in it, which is not a very good movie, but still, Garrett Graham's in it. We've seen worse Garrett Graham movies, but we were both mentioning there's not a lot of UFC, and then you said, I think I have one. He goes, oh, but it's older, and I wonder, is it the same thing? I have Bloodsport from '88.
Yeah, 1988 Bloodsport. Absolutely, I have 1988.
It wasn't even called UFC at the time, but it's like mixed martial arts or whatever, and yeah.
So I was actually thinking about that, and as we've been talking, another one popped in my head that kind of falls in this, and which is like the precursor to what becomes UFC because of the octagon shaped ring and everything, and that's the amazing Tommy Lister Hulk Hogan vehicle No Holds Barred
from 1989. That's on my list. Of course it is, because that movie's ridiculous.
It's so bad. But that movie also has one of my favorite actors, that guy actors, Kurt Fuller. He's the TV guy.
Okay, is he the sheriff in Scary Movie? Is he the sheriff in Scary Movie?
No, but he does look similar to that guy. The sheriff in Scary Movie has never held a cigarette in his.
Not
watch him.
Scary Movie,
like,
not Scream.
In Scary Movie, he doesn't like it's the most awkward. Like, no, I love Bloodsport. Bloodsport.
Also, Boaz Yakeen, didn't he help write that and Kickboxer? I think
one or the other.
Yeah,
I don't remember now.
I just remember he told us the story of going to Thailand to help punch up and write up a script for one of these movies.
Punch it up.
But anyways,
Bloodsport for sure.
That's like No Holds Barred was still very very wrestling, right? Like there were a handful of those.
It was much more wrestling. It wasn't Ready to Rumble.
No,
because Ready to Rumble is. It's not.
It's very silly. What's the one from the 80s I always talk about with the rubber bands and his hair guy? Lou Albano.
Yeah, Captain Lou Albano. Body Slam.
Body Slam, thank you. Yeah, I talked about it the other day.
If you want to talk wrestling, there were some actually really good like Olympic-style wrestling movies.
Right.
1985's Vision Quest is still one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Matthew Modine is
Foxcatcher, of course.
Foxcatcher. And then there's one that I do want to talk about that I think more people need to watch, and it's a little 2011 movie with Paul Giamatti called Win-Win.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
like
a
struggling lawyer / high school wrestling coach. But he makes... It's like a better version of The Blind Side.
Or Major Payne, where he's relegated to go deal with whatever.
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
This is all you can do. But
that's I'm confusing it with Champions, which is Woody Harrelson. Has to go. He's career in such a hole that he's dealing with special needs kids on a basketball team, something like that.
Which is just came out recently.
Yeah, and that's done by the Farrellys, right? Or
one of the Farrellys.
Yeah, Bobby.
Either Bobby or whatever.
It's a remake of a Spanish movie. But anyways,
speaking of you mentioned Foxcatcher though. I just want to say this right now. Steve Carell was ripped off. He definitely should have won the Oscar for that movie. The way that he becomes John DuPont is fantastic. I forget that I'm watching Steve Carell. And Anthony Michael Hall's in that movie as well, so
that's right.
But
as far as non-Olympic wrestling, the other wrestling, the wrestling we all know, entertainment wrestling, the soap opera wrestling. There was a movie that I just happened to watch before I knew shows was Fighting with My Family. Have you seen that?
Yeah, with Florence Pugh.
With Florence Pugh, it's written
I
by
like that
what's his?
movie.
I like it a lot. And
Stretch, the really tall Steve Merchant.
Steve Merchant, yeah, it's got Nick Frost and it's got a bunch of people. Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Yeah.
is in quite a bit.
I like that movie
I
way
did too.
more than I
I
thought.
thought it had a lot of heart. I thought it was charming.
Yep.
I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't yuck somebody for liking.
I was
that
a
sport.
wrestling fan big time back in 1988.
Yeah, I saw
Or
WrestleMania
89
1. I saw
when-
WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3, I think. And I played the WWF video game on Nintendo.
When Tiny Lister actually came out in wrestling as Zeus, following No Holds Barred, I was a fan then.
Right.
Not much longer after that, though. And not because of anything bad, but so there's another director that did a handful of really good, two really good sports movies, and we don't need to talk about Rocky because Rocky is Rocky. But John Giovilson also did the original Karate Kid.
Right.
And I love the Karate Kid. I still think Ralph Macchio was the good guy, but the older I get, the more I understand that maybe Billy Zabka was the good guy also. Like, I like how that movie has a very complicated morality to it,
Yeah.
because that's real life. And who doesn't love Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah. And Noriyuki Pat Morita.
Pat Morita.
Because,
Which
you know,
we still
Pat
won't
is
say his-
Pat
we're still
is
not
short.
going to say his.
Yeah.
We're still not going to say his stand-up comedy name. You can look
Yeah.
that up for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, the martial arts movies, that was such a big push for things I cared about when I was younger. There are still ones that come out. Like, just the other day, Jackie Chan came on. It was one of the... First of all, it's hard to get Jackie Chan movies. How's that possible? Like First Strike and Who Am I and Legend of Drunken Master.
Legend of Drunken Master. Yeah, you can.
Like, it's hard. But anyways, Mel and I were watching, and I was trying to explain how Super Cop and all those things, how much I enjoyed them back in the day, and she actually kind of liked it. So I was going to start seeking them out, but they're hard to find. But I do want to say, I think the primary quote unquote fighting films, the ones that have always gotten the most respect and stuff, obviously are boxing movies.
For sure.
And there are a couple I definitely want to note. In 1941, I can't remember who made it, but there's Here Comes Mr. Jordan, which is the original version of Heaven Can Wait, where the young boxer gets killed in a plane crash, and then he didn't actually die, but the angel took his soul and they got rid of his body, and so now he's up in like heaven, and they're like, oh, we'll send you back in a new body, and anyways, he still wants to be a boxer, so that one's pretty good. It was remade as Heaven Can Wait. It's been remade a bunch of times.
I haven't seen that.
But the couple that are absolutely key to mention, and I don't want to get listy, but one is The Champ from 1931. It's an older movie. I understand that it would be hard for some people because it's older. It doesn't play as old as that, but it definitely plays black and white. And old.
It was on my longer list. I did take it off as I was whittling down.
I just like the movie so much.
And
Jackie Cooper, Amy and I still, to this day... Cooper, who's brilliant. We still quote him from that movie of at least two different things he says in that movie on a regular basis that makes us laugh. He's very good. His stuff is very funny. But anyway, also speaking of Robert Wise, there's a movie called The Setup. It's a very noir piece. It's brilliant, where basically it's the only movie I can think of off the top of my head that shows day-to-day fighters. And I mean people who are just like, they're fighting for rent. They need to go in and fight that night so they can pay their rent. And the fodder, they're the ones that are...
It's what the character of Rocky would have been doing as a fighter, because he did anything he could to get money before Apollo comes along.
Yeah,
it's
so basically
focused on that on the story of what they do.
There are no big champs in the movie.
Yeah,
there's no big huge things or fights. It's just some gangsters who are trying to manipulate these guys to do these nightly fights. But it's so good. Robert Wise made it. It's in 49. I'm looking at my list. It's 49, so it's very beautifully done. Robert Ryan is the lead in it. It's got a great cast of people. Highly recommend it. But
as you're talking, as you're saying that, I just keep thinking, there is something about, I know they call it the sweet science, but that lends itself so much to the dramatic story arc for film.
Yeah.
It just works so well. Like going a little bit more modern, 1970s, The Great White Hope, with James Earl Jones. Like these movies this is about The Great White Hope is Jack Johnson, black heavyweight, and how like the media and the whole world wants this white guy to rise up to so they could take the title back. But fantastic movie. It fits so well. Boxing does fit so well to the way movies are done.
Yeah, because you've got everything. You've got the underdog. You've got the climactic moment, which is that fight rings. That's whatever scene in that fight. You've got montages building up to it. It's different than another sport where you could see a slow progression. It's either all or nothing, and so you have that great third act bit.
Yeah,
but it's like, did you ever see the Champion from 1949? It's a Kirk Douglas movie. It's very good. Kirk Douglas and his brother, who's got a bad leg or something, let's say disabled, but they travel cross country like as vagabonds, thinking that they bought into a hamburger stand out in California. They get there, they find out that they were scammed. Somehow they need money, so Kirk Douglas is like, I'm a pretty good boxer, so he goes out to do a little boxing. Anyways, it shows this character going from this small little trying to think he owns a hamburger stand to like a champ, and just he's such a piece of shit by the end of it that you don't like him as the audience. It's a really good movie. Yeah. Highly recommend it. Champion with Kirk Douglas.
Did you watch the Champ remake with Ricky Schroeder and John Voight? Because I didn't.
No, I did not. I did watch Teen Wolf 2, as mentioned before, and that's boxing.
The Fighter, which is probably
it's a little
just
Rushmore.
Off of the Rushmore.
Yeah, super good. It's a great movie.
As is Raging Bull.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something about him. Ali
I like the industry. I like things that are, again, like with all these sports. I like stuff that's happening around it. Because there's in '56, Humphrey Bogart made one of his last, it might even be his last movie, The Harder They Fall. Yeah. Which is a fantastic movie where he's like a press agent who is convinced these boxing promoters bring up this very tall guy, like this guy is like 6'9" or something, and a beast, and they say he's going to be the new champion. Why don't you write articles about him? And Humphrey Bogart has credibility, so he's like, I'm not going to. They give him money, and so he starts promoting this guy as he's a great boxer, but the problem is he's not. This guy is going to get himself killed in the ring. He's a horrible boxer. And they're just trying to sell him as this great boxer so they can fix fights or whatever. It's one of Bogey's last movies. It's really good.
It is his last movie.
Yeah. And it's
or it's
really
his last
good.
movie that was released. Whether filming, who knows. But
and these promoters keep promising this boxer who's not the brightest guy, who's from another country. I think he's from El Salvador or something. And they keep promising him huge amounts of money. If he just does all the fights, does all these things, he keeps doing it, and they keep saying, "We have your money, we'll give it to you later." It's a great ending. Super cool movie. Gangsters against Bogey instead of the other way around.
And kind of touches in truth, because that's sort of always been the knock against the actual real world of boxing, is that too much of that influence is actually there. But yeah, those some great movies.
Have you ever seen Lloyd Kaufman did, I think, a baseball comedy in the '70s, Squeeze Play? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I watched it not too long back.
I thought you had.
It's like a softball. It's girls baseball. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched.
Is it funny? Yeah. I was going to seek it out last night, but I didn't know.
A lot of bouncing breasts. So seek it out. It's not good.
Definitely Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched a lot of baseball movies. I think I just watched a lot of sports movies in the 90s. I was going to the theater a lot, and there were a lot of
Yeah.
them coming out. Because
Hmm.
speaking of blue chips, happening to watch that, like there's a baseball version similar to that, which was The Scout, right? Where Albert Brooks is trying to get young Brendan
Yep.
Frazier,
Brendan Frazier.
who's playing in like I don't know the Spanish league or the Mexican league or
Yeah,
something.
something like yeah.
But he's nuts. I think if I remember correctly, I haven't seen this since the theater. But Brendan Fraser's not all there in the head, flies off the handle or something.
Something.
No, do you
I
remember
don't
it? But he's a really
I
great
remember the
pitcher.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a wonderful pitcher. He's going to play for the Yankees. Yeah, there's a ton of baseball movies, but I want to talk about hockey a little bit because in 2011, Jay Baruchel and Evan Goldberg wrote Goon,
Yeah.
and I think Goon is such an underrated, wonderful movie. I really enjoy it, and I like Sean William Scott.
I know. I would not have thought in American Pie that I was going to watch and care
that
about
was
his
going to be
career.
the guy you were going to like.
Yeah. But I
And
do.
then also, back in the 70s, George Roy Hill did Slapshot, which
Of
is
course.
still one of the funniest movies.
Well,
But the best hockey movie ever?
is National Lampoon's Pucked from 2006, starring John Bon Jovi, directed by Arthur Hiller. It's his last movie.
No, but it might be. It might be. No, I was going to say MVP, Most Valuable Primate.
They're both about the same.
We're
There's
both going to make the same joke.
By the way, I think that is an Air Bud MVP, right? Air Bud presents or whatever it is. I think it's under
It
the
probably.
the moniker of that. But I when I was looking through my list, there's an Air Bud quote unquote in every single sports. In
Yeah,
every single
they
one,
had
in
to,
skiing, in snowboarding, in chess,
Which is why I picked
in
this
underwater,
one
in
as the only.
spelunking, in
The only
skydiving.
one that I wanted to put. And the reason I picked this one because one of my favorite kind of silly side character actor comedians, Rick Ducommun was in this one.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. Rick Ducommun was in he
In The
plays
Burbs.
Art, the silly neighbor in The Burbs. He also famously
Started a skateboard company.
co-owned the biggest skateboarding company in Canada. So he just kind of touches on a lot of things that are important to childhood me. So I love Rick Ducommun.
Well, again, just to mention, National Lampoon's Pucked from 2006, starring John Bon Jovi and directed by Arthur Hill, who's a great director. It's his last movie. I just wanted to mention that. But I do love, we both love skateboarding movies.
Yes.
And I think, the movie Grind, I think you watched it on my recommendation from 2003.
Love it.
It's fine. It's a fun movie. It's a road trip movie.
Yes.
It's cute. I think it's PG. But I still think
Yeah,
that
it's
there's a
simple.
clip in it that you posted on YouTube, which I wish everybody
Yes.
liked, but nobody does, of the little kid
It's
getting sick and
hilarious.
throwing up. It is very
Yes.
funny. But I like skateboarding movies. We've talked about Gleaming the Cube on here.
Yep. So I wrote Gleaming the Cube down here for skateboarding movies, but is it really a skateboarding movie?
It's more international
so-
intrigue, foreign
Because it's so
affairs.
secondary
Yeah.
to everything else. But
He
no,
is cle-
it's definitely on here. But Lords of Dogtown.
Right.
Love Lords of Dogtown.
Even with
Love
Emil Hirsch
Grind.
doing his eyeball thing, trying to act.
And he's the one that gets paralyzed.
No, he's not.
Who got paralyzed? I thought it was Emil Hirsch that
The
got
other
paralyzed.
kid. Emil Hirsch is the one who gets a zipper around his head. Right? No. He's get the tattoo.
The neck.
Fuck, I don't remember.
Anyways,
But anyways.
great movie. Catherine
He's
Hardwicke.
he's the one who Tony Alva, not Tony Alva. What's the other guy's name? God, I'm losing all these skaters' names. He's playing what's his name? The crazy guy who went to prison 1,000 times. The skater, the actual Dogtown skater who went to prison 1,000 times. Not Tony Alva. Tony Alva is the other guy who's in Hawaii now. Looks kind of the same. But forgetting all of that, I do love Lords of Dogtown.
Yes.
I think it's a really solid movie. Skating plays so well in adolescent culture movies and giving them some heart. I haven't seen some stuff like Skate Kitchen that came out recently. I haven't seen, but it looks really good. But I did see mid '90s, which is the Jonah
Yeah.
Hill movie from
The Jonah
like
Hill movie.
2018, and it's kind of like a self. It's a little bit autobiographical version of his story.
His story,
It's
yeah.
it's a sweet movie. It's done really well. It's a coming of age story. We've talked about it, and it's probably come up in 4 other topics for other shows. But
Right.
people should check it out. It's an easy watch. I don't know.
Yeah. And then there's a couple of winter sports movies that I would like to mention that I just really like. One is Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah.
Taron Egerton plays Eddie the Eagle Edwards, who was the first ever British ski jumper to compete in that event in the Olympics.
Yeah,
Famously came in last place.
The long jump, right? He jump long
yeah.
jump on skis, then lands on a piano and becomes Elton John, something like that.
Becomes Elton John. Exactly. No, but there's another movie that takes place, true story, that takes place at these exact same 1988 Winter Games about an
Munich.
unlikely bobsled team.
Yeah.
Cool Run-Ins. I love Cool Run-Ins. I will not apologize for loving Cool Run-Ins.
John Candy is phenomenal.
Doug E. Doug, John Candy. The original story, not the story that got made in the movie, but the original story was written by Michael Ritchie, who we've talked about at the beginning of all of this. Leon, Doug E. Doug are great as the two best friends slash bobsledders. It's very dramatized, but it has everything that a good sports movie
It's
needs.
got some good comedy. They know what they're doing with respecting the culture of these Jamaican people in these cities,
Yes.
but at the same time, kind of like poking fun at it in here and there.
Yeah, they definitely poke a lot of fun at the
Laid back
the-
nature.
at the laid back nature
Jamaicans.
and class divides, because one of the guys is really rich, one of them's super poor, the other two are kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of the stuff that they play on all that. There was a classic that I put on here that I like. I wonder if you've seen Jimmy Stewart's 1949 The Stratton Story.
I have not. I have not. I do know the movie.
It's basically the same as The Scout, except instead of Brendan Fraser, it's no. Jimmy Stewart plays Monty Stratton, who's a promising major league pitcher, but he gets in a hunting accident, loses his leg, and then mounts this next to impossible comeback. Frank Morgan, the wizard from Wizard of Oz, is in it as Stratton's manager. It's June Allison plays his wife. It's a beautiful little movie. 1949.
He's a baseball player, right? In the movie.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be a pitcher? Is he a pitcher?
He's a pitcher, a one-legged pitcher.
Okay.
And then the other classic that I put on my list is a Burt Lancaster movie directed by Michael Curtiz called Jim Thorpe, All-American Legend.
Right.
Or Jim Thorpe, All-American, not Legend.
Yeah.
There's no legend. I really like that. Did you mention Gentleman Jim? You didn't. What about
I
Gentleman
didn't. I actually had it on my list, but I pulled it off because I love Errol Flynn.
I'm a big Errol Flynn fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Yankee fan, so like Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
And then this
those are like those are big ones. Like anything is Rushmore, like Moneyball is Rushmore and stuff like that. I like the smaller baseball ones, like Mr. 3000.
I do, because Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
Again, what year was that? 90s or is that?
That's got to be 01.
I guess it's after the 2000. But basically, he's a baseball player where they recalculate his stats, and he didn't actually
went
get
from having
3,000.
3,000 to only 2,999.
Yeah, so he has to go back in 20 years after the fact, and
to get that one hit. So it was 2004. No, but I wanted to talk about a movie that I don't know that is referenced. It is still referenced in modern culture, but I don't know that everybody knows where it comes from, and that's Newt Rockney, All American, because it's where it's the movie where Ronald Reagan gives the win one for the
where
Gipper
he gets
speech.
the Gipper. Yep.
The win one for the Gipper. It's very, very patriotic. It's
very dramatic.
It comes.
It's overly dramatic.
Yes, it was made in 1940, so we're not quite involved in World War II yet. But as soon as we do, this becomes like that inspirational movie for the people of the time.
Yeah.
But I felt bad because I mentioned Jane Wyman and I didn't mention her husband in a movie. So no,
There are better Ronnie Reagan movies out there, even besides Bedtime for
yes.
Bonzo. But anyway.
But
Um,
what else you got?
so I've got some other baseball stuff. I was looking at my list. I have a lot of old movies in general, and then
Yeah.
90s a lot, because I think those are the time periods when either I was involved more or whatever. But obviously, like, we've talked about these, but Little Big League from 94. But
Yeah.
also in 94, Rookie of the Year came out. I always conflate these two. They're totally
Yes.
different. Little Big League is this kid whose grandfather dies, and he's the owner
And
of,
leaves
what
him
team
the
is
team.
it?
The
What
Twins.
team is it? The Twins.
The Minnesota
Leaves him the Twins, the the baseball team. He decides he's going to manage the team himself. He's like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
He's the coach. That one's actually a little more serious. It's pretty good,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. And
Yeah.
then Rookie of the Year is the kid who somehow breaks his arm.
Breaks his arm and gets the ligaments too tight, so he throws really hard.
Which is what I want a doctor to chime in on this. We have a doctor come in to
That
explain
can't
if
be
that's
real, right?
if that's even realistic, because otherwise every baseball player would do it,
Would
break
do
one
it.
arm. But anyways, so he somehow, after he gets his cast off, can throw like 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Right?
Yeah.
He's Nolan Ryan as a 12 or 13-year-old kid.
Right.
So, and then he goes in and silly stuff happens. One felt more blank check Disney. One felt a little bit more
A little more serious.
yeah, a little bit more serious. But I conflate
yeah.
them all the time.
And there's Angels in the Outfield around that same time, which is a remake of an older movie, which is actually a much better movie if you watch the original. And then Major League 2.
Right.
I won't
Mr.
mention Major League
How about
3.
Mr. Baseball from '92? It was the last thing
Now,
I remember
that's
distinctly
one that I think-
going to see a Tom Selleck movie on purpose.
What is it, a Tom Selleck movie where he's like, I don't remember, is he washed up and that's why
He's
he's
an
playing in
yeah,
Japan?
he's an aged out baseball player, and he can go play in Japan, but he's Tom Selleck. He looks like Tom Selleck. He's tall.
Yes.
So most of the jokes that I remember, I haven't seen it in a long time. Most of the jokes I remember are about how much taller he is than everybody. Where they do a lot of scenes of him standing in the middle of a group of Japanese people,
Yeah.
and he's obviously a foot and a half taller than all of them. And like, whoa, I'm a fish out of water here, that kind of a thing.
Ha ha ha.
You guys eat fish raw? That kind of stuff, you know? Like, there's not a... I don't remember a lot of great writing in that thing, but it always felt... I always conflated it with Mr. Destiny, and I don't know why. They came out totally
Because
different
they
time.
say Mister.
Maybe that's what it is. And they both have a little baseball in them, because Mr.
A little
Destiny
baseball
does.
in them. There's a baseball movie, and I honestly want to shout this one out. It was actually an HBO movie. It didn't have a theatrical release, but it's 61.
Oh, yeah. The
It's the
Jackie
story
Robinson stuff.
of the 1961 New York Yankees, Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris.
That's right.
Chasing the Babe Ruth single season. home run
Isn't
record.
it 61 with an asterisk on it?
It's 61 with an asterisk because at the end, when Roger Maris breaks the record, they kept putting an asterisk on it because Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in a season that only had 154 games, and in this one, in Roger Maris in 1961 hit 61 home runs in 162 games, so he had 8 more games to do it in.
Somebody's going to hit 69, bro.
69, brother. But this one it's directed by Billy Crystal. It stars
The guy from My Giant.
the guy from My Giant is in this.
Isn't no? I'm thinking of Forget Paris. In Forget Paris, he's the ref,
He's a
right?
referee.
In
He's
My
a
Giant,
basketball
he's just with the really tall guy.
He's just with George Harrison.
He's a basketball
But
referee.
you know who else is in 61? Anthony
Me.
Michael Hall.
No way. Is he playing a douchebag or a not so douchebag?
Not as
Even his cameo, his episode of Community, he's playing a douchebag.
plays a douche.
He must roll. He must roll
He's
in
just
that. And
like,
I
I
love.
can do it. I can
I love Anthony Michael Hall. I think he's great.
and-
You know, I watched Hail
recent-
Caesar because of him. I tried.
right. And a recent one, I don't want to get too bogged down in it because everybody's probably seen it at this point. Is 42 with Chadwick Boseman, the Jackie
Yeah,
Robinson story.
that's what I was thinking of.
Fantastic movie.
You were saying numbers. I think I said 61. Jackie Robinson.
So they're the
that's
same
what-
movie in your head because they have numbers.
Yeah, and it really is because they needed because of the war and all that kind of stuff.
Um,
what about speaking of in that same vein, Bingo Long and the Traveling All Stars?
Yeah,
from '76. It's Richard Pryor's got a huge cast of people.
Yeah.
I'm losing everybody's name. John Amos, I think, is in it.
Yeah.
Great cast of people. But it's directed by John Badham.
Yeah,
That's
Two
a
good
super
war games.
solid movie about the Negro League. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
But that one's
But that's what they're called. So
yeah. It's like the NAACP.
yeah, the Bingo Long.
I'm not
Traveling
saying it.
All-Stars and Motor King.
And Motor Kings, yeah. It's a cool movie. It fits in that racing movie right after Richard Pryor did, and I'm already losing it. We talked about it the other day. The movie where
Billy
he's
D.
the
Williams, James Earl Jones,
where
Richard
he's-
Pryor, so many people in that movie.
right, but the one where he's the racer. Then he goes and does Bingo Long after that. I think he produced Bingo Long. Anyways.
But
It's
definitely
76.
worth
It's a great
watching.
movie about the racism. It's done in the 70s,
Yes.
so there's a pretty honest portrait of it, yet not being condescending to anybody or whatever. I think it's really good. And it's got the wonderful cast of people in it.
And one last baseball movie is, speaking of Richard Pryor, it's Bruce
Beer League. Yeah, of course. Which, again, little baseball, less baseball.
Not a baseball movie.
In thinking about movies that are quote unquote about sports, there were a lot that I'm like, well, I guess there is a sport in Angus. Has a little football in it, but I don't
Has a
consider
little
that a football
football.
movie.
That's not football.
You know,
No.
it's a great movie.
I do want to go back a little bit to winter sports.
To Ed with Matt
I
LeBlanc.
actually really liked Miracle in 2004, the Kurt
Okay.
Russell
Yeah.
Miracle on Ice hockey.
The
thing,
80
Kurt
hockey
Russell,
team.
1980 hockey team. I really like that. I like the first two Mighty Ducks movies. Those are decent hockey movies. I said Goon earlier.
Yeah.
Hockey, I think, is a lot harder to do, similar to like football. It's hard to do them because of the large cast of characters, the number of players that you incorporate in the story. So there's not a lot of good hockey movies that I could find or that I've seen. I did like Miracle though quite a bit. What was that other one? Mystery Alaska. What about Mystery Alaska?
Yeah, with Russell Crowe.
The outdoor.
I don't
hockey.
remember. Yeah, they have some exhibition to play the Red Wings or something. I can't remember, but yeah, some small town and obviously in the town of Mystery, Alaska. I don't remember if I've ever seen it, but I remember some scenes from it because I looked it up and I ran across it also. But I do remember.
I used to have the screener copy of the videotape.
I do know for snow sports, I remember Out Cold, which is the first time most people besides Zach
snowboarding.
Galifianakis, or Ski School from
snowboarding.
1990. But here's a forgotten movie that I actually really liked, and it's 2005. It's a golf movie. It's The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, I like that.
He's a caddy. This is set in, but I think I like the time period. It's set in like 1915 or 1920.
Yeah,
somewhere in there,
early.
and it's a little bit about class because he's just a caddy at this very prestigious country club, golf club, and he's really good, and he somehow gets to play. It's just like Caddyshack, same movie, but
Same
anyway.
movie.
But it's a true story about this game that actually happened and how this caddy, that's spoiling the ending, wins. But it's really good. And I remember it was really early. Shia LaBeouf was in Holes in like 2003, and then he was in that time period where
years later,
it was Even Stevens was done. He was kind of coming out, and I was really liking the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
I think he's an artist in his mind, so I think he's doing a lot of these roles that are Peanut Butter Falcon and these roles that are Honey Dripper. Not Honey Dripper. What's
that's the porno version.
Honey. But anyways, he's doing all these other movies that I think whatever. But
Yeah,
this was in that early time where you were catching him in the iRobot time when he's the neighbor kid in iRobot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked the movie a lot. I haven't seen it in quite a few
Sure.
years, but I think it's completely forgotten, underseen, and unforgotten, or whatever the title of your
Underseen
show
and
is.
overlooked.
Underseen and overlooked. Yeah, as it fits in there.
Man, but there are so many others. Are there any you want to shout out real quick before we
No,
wrap it up? Because this is a
to be,
long one.
yeah. No, to be honest, I was, I think with that Shia LaBeouf thing with the greatest game I ever played, it fits into this category because he had just done Holes where they're like a bunch of kids in a jail and stuff. But like we didn't talk about The Longest Yard.
That was going to be.
Right?
That was the last one I wanted to mention. Was 1974's The Longest Yard,
Which
not the remake.
I love
with-
the original, and there are moments of the remake that I like. Adam Sandler's in this really weird position where we both know he has a lot of potential to do better things.
He has the ability to be amazing.
Did you see the Netflix movie Hustle from 2022 with Adam Sandler? Okay, I ran across this. It's a basketball movie. It's got an 80 Metascore. It's got
Okay.
yeah. It's like it says if you like Uncut Gems, you'll like Hustle. I don't even know the movie because it also says if you like this, you'll like Ridiculous Six and all these other silly movies.
Which, yeah, I probably
It's
would.
it's kind of weird that it came up in that way. Like, what's the guy's name in Juwanna Mann?
Oh,
Do you remember that basketball movie? He was
yeah,
also in
it's-
Life,
yeah.
set in
I know who
prisons.
you're talking about.
But anyways, I digress as I like to say. But anyways, Hustle. We'll talk about it later. But I didn't really care for the remake of The Longest Yard very much, and I think I like the people in it. I do like Adam Sandler, despite the fact that he tries to make me not like him in movies.
He does everything he can.
I do like Chris Rock in almost everything. Like we talked
Yeah,
last week about
usually.
top 5. Everybody should see that. But I felt like they were taking the easy way out on a lot of the jokes. There's a lot of like gay jokes and things like that that are low hanging fruit and just lazier writing. But the original was gritty. The original was rough.
You got Burt Reynolds, Eddie Albert, like just some great actors. Directed by my third or fourth cousin, Robert Aldrich, who did Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Amazing director. But same basic kind of story. Former NFL quarterback goes joyriding, gets arrested for drunken driving. Terrible warden forces him to assemble these inmates to play football against the guards. The thing that is different about The Longest Yard in 1974 is it is much more violent and much more gritty. It has some humor, but it is much darker.
I think they tried to polish and family orient.
Yes, they definitely clean it up.
There are some brutal beatdown scenes in the original. It felt more like Iron Man football.
Yeah,
whereas this feels more like
scene...
the remake feels like Powder Puff football.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
there's a scene in The Longest Yard towards the end in the locker room that I want you to watch it, so I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it is pretty shocking. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's got that Burt Reynolds just like he made everything look cooler than it was.
Yeah, this was mustacheless Burt Reynolds, right? Am I remembering that
Yeah, he doesn't
correctly?
have a mustache in this one.
And which is the Deliverance Burt Reynolds. Like he knew how to use that mustache. He's like
He knew
Jason.
how to make a character in his movie.
He's like Jason from My Name Is Earl. Jason Lee.
Jason Lee.
He wears the mustache. He looks kind of goofy, Burt Reynoldsy. But if he doesn't wear the mustache, then he looks like Brody from all the Clerks movies and stuff. The View Askewverse. But anyways, yeah, there are a ton of prison movies, and it seems like this or like Stir Crazy, where the people are roped into doing activities there, or even Shawshank, where he's roped into doing taxes and the accounting for this corrupt. Let's have a discussion on prison movies specifically. I think there's a bunch of them out there that are really good, old and new. They've been around forever. I mean, I definitely let's make a list of some of our favorite prison movies.
Well, the great thing about that is we get to talk about
Mayim Bialik.
I lost my joke.
Schindler's List. No concentration camps. No concentration camps. Those you don't want to have. That's a different discussion.
We get to talk about Big Stan.
Big Stan. Oh, with
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Oh, that reminds me of a Chris Kattan story. We'll get to that later.
I'm not going to talk about that. Anyways,
So, let's
this
talk
has
prisons
been
next week.
another episode. This has been another episode of Couch Critics. We're going to go do our homework and
It's like a
come back
double.
and talk about prison movies.
Yeah.
And that could go many different ways, because you never know what kind of list Dave is going to come up with or I'm going to come up with. But if you got anything out of today's episode, or you just want to highlight some other forgotten or overlooked sports-related movies, please send them our way. Chat them out wherever you're listening to this. You can find us all over the social medias, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok at CouchCriticsRRT. You can email us, couchcriticsrrt@gmail.com, or just lean out your window and yell, and the gods will get it to us. I don't think that's real. I just made that up. But if you did get anything out of today's episode, make sure you go wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave a rating, a review. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to hear in the future. And why do we ask for this, Dave?
Existential acknowledgement, just so I know I'm really a person, I'm really here. Love, support. Acknowledgement, I think, is the big one. I don't even care about approval anymore. Just acknowledge
just acknowledge
somebody's out there.
That there is somebody standing in the void.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. But anyways.
Oh, network. So do that, and then leave us all the ratings and reviews. Keep listening, keep watching, and then, Dave, how are we going to close out today?
Thanks, everybody, for being here. I know there's a lot of sports movies we didn't talk about. We do make an attempt. We do make an attempt to not get listy and just rattle off one after another. Apologies for that.
But I still had like a dozen on my list, so I just wasn't going to. I was about to get listy.
I'd say next time we should pick a sport. But it's all good. No big deal. I think it was a fun show. But anyways, thanks all for being here. Next week we're going to talk prisons, and hopefully we don't. Let's all go to prison. That's another good movie. But anyways, watch what you love and love what you watch.
Because here at the Couch Critics, we're never yucking your yum. All right, we'll see you in prison, guys.
Clank.